Here now, Andrij Dobriansky, Director of Communications and Media for the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America. Well, the deadline is here, and now the talks are in the works. It sounds like the stakes could not be higher. But John Bolton, as we showed a minute ago, said now's not the time. Russia continues to advance. Do you agree with that?
I'm on team. It's not going to happen soon. It's clear that the White House has been burned many times before. I'll just remind everybody what happened in Istanbul not more than 2 months ago, where President Trump was potentially supposed to fly out and meet with Putin. Putin ended up not even meeting with Zelensky. Then the Russian foreign minister was supposed to meet with Ukraine's foreign minister, who happened to be in Moscow. All happened to be in Turkey. Also didn't happen. Marco Rubio was there for a NATO meeting. He flew to Istanbul potentially to have a meeting with Russian delegates. All that ended up happening were lower level diplomats meeting between Ukraine and Russia. There has been nothing that came out of those meetings other than the exchange of prisoners. There's been no progress made in those meetings. And this is the same thing that's happened over the 200 times since Ukraine was invaded in 2014. Over 200 sit-down meetings with the Russians and Ukrainians, and no real concessions, no progress towards peace. So we're not at a point that President Trump's going to meet with Putin, because if we read Art of the Deal, you go into a room with maximum pressure, and Trump still hasn't flipped the switch for maximum pressure.
And that includes the sanctions today. You don't think that moves the needle, makes a difference?
Well, the State Department wouldn't even say yesterday if those exist. They said it was a hypothetical to think that today's deadline existed. So we will see. But I would mention that Trump is planning to have a signing ceremony for a peace agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan hosted at the White House. That would be a great occasion to point out to the Russians that, this is something that can happen. And since you're not taking part in a peace deal, it would be a good occasion to increase the sanctions and tariffs against Russia.
What are the non-starters right now, and is there any wiggle room for negotiation on some of those?
Well, the non-starters are the fact that Russia can't even agree to a ceasefire. That the fact that we're so far away from that, this differentiates negotiating with Russia with other countries. This is more akin to negotiating with a terrorist actor. Russia is not interested in even a 24-hour, 36-hour, let's have a ceasefire so we can sit down and have a conversation. That's not happening. So anything that happens after the fact, including the prosecution of different war crimes, let's not forget that President Putin cannot visit many countries. When people mention the UAE is a signatory of the Rome Statute. He's not traveling to the UAE. He's not traveling to South Africa for the G20. So this is another key reason why European leaders won't be present at a meeting with Putin, because he's currently a wanted war criminal.
Andrij Dobriansky, as always, thank you, sir.